Hi Virgo, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be your love and spirituality reading for the month of December, and this will be for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I already gave the disclaimer in the Taurus video. I am not at home. I am traveling for the holidays. I'm at my sister's house, so if you hear an echo, it's because I'm filming in a room that is kind of empty. So hopefully the echo won't be too bad, and hopefully you won't hear any background noises. But I think we'll be fine. I think we got through the Taurus video okay. So I'll also be doing an extended video, and I will leave the link to that in the description box down below. Okay, so Virgo, when I was meditating on your energy, what I was picking up was that some of you are having a very hard time keeping yourself balanced. From what I was getting, some of you are kind of like exploring spirituality is what I'm hearing. Possibly trying to step onto a spiritual path or embark on a spiritual journey. And if it's not spiritual, you could possibly be diving more into your emotions and your feelings and having a hard time balancing that. I was getting like a split in my mind, like the material world, but then also like the spiritual world slash emotional realm, where it's like you are focused on the material world, you're focused on your career, or you're focused on manifesting your goals and achieving certain material success. But then it's like this other side where you know that you have to dive more deeply into your emotions or dive more deeply into spirituality, because when you're too focused on the material world, sometimes it can leave you with this feeling of emptiness, because there has to be like that balance between financial material success and emotional well-being, because sometimes the material wealth or the things that we think make us happy externally and on the surface just do not fulfill us deeply enough to have that long-term, long-lasting happiness and peace from within. So let's see here, Virgo. Kind of like that feeling of, it's lonely at the top. So you have to make sure that you are, focusing also on your emotions and focusing on how you feel, healing any wounds within you, and not just relying on the external to make you feel good or to feed your ego in some way, So it's all about balance. So let's pull for the past. And I feel like it's very easy to fall into that energy just because society makes it seem like that is what will make us happy, that is what will bring us joy. But you see a lot of people who reach the top of their career, they are, on drugs, or they are suicidal. And it's because deep down inside, they have not healed something, or deep down inside, they are broken. And so that just goes to show you that the material world, it's important to focus on finances, but to rely on your sense of happiness and overall self-esteem and well-being, it will ultimately backfire. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, wow, okay. Nine of Swords. So we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Nine of Swords, Virgo. Fix this camera. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the Nine of Swords. So the Page of Pentacles talks about you in the past possibly keeping your eye on the prize and being so focused on material wealth or so focused on the external that you were kind of neglecting yourself emotionally. So it's kind of like during the daytime you felt triumphant, you felt confident, you were getting things done, but then at nighttime suddenly this pain would hit you. And I feel like I was saying in the opening, in the intro, it's because you have not taken the time out to really look inward, like really look deep within your soul and do some soul searching to figure out what it is that makes you feel broken or makes you feel empty, in order for you to fully heal that and to stop trying to fill that empty void with external things. And when I say external things, I could talk about, relationships, like getting into relationships in order to fill that void. There's nothing wrong with being in love, obviously. Love is something that can be very fulfilling and can bring you a sense of happiness. But if you are looking at a relationship as something that will ultimately be your happiness, then you would set yourself up for failure. So when I say external things, I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about, certain friendships with certain people that may be beneficial to you on the surface, but there's no real deep connection. Money, success, fame, things of that sort. It's like feeling like that's going to fill an empty space, but then coming to the realization that that may not be the case. So needing to really do some deep soul searching. For some of you, it's the opposite, because I feel like I'm picking up on two different groups. For some of you, you're actually needing to focus more on your career or more on your long-term goals in order for you to pull yourself out of this state of depression or feeling drained and just feeling like you have no direction in life. Especially if you, from what I'm hearing, some of you have just ended a relationship, or you haven't been in a relationship in a while because you feel like it throws you off balance emotionally. So just remember that when you're leaving behind certain relationships or certain situations, it's important to fill your life back up with things that are fulfilling to you. So setting some type of long-term goal or learning some type of new skill and really focusing on that can help to bring you out of this like depressing, dark type of energy. So some of you, like I said, are needing to focus more on your career and the material world. Some of you are needing to focus less on it and to dive more into your soul and what your soul is wanting from you and what your soul is calling for you to do. Okay, Virgo, let's see the present. Three of Cups in the reverse. Three of Swords in the reverse. So for some of you, you are actually afraid of heartbreak. And I was picking up on that in the last cards as well. Some of you have not been in a relationship in a long time because you have just not had very good luck in that field. Or for some of you, you could have just gotten out of a very heavy relationship. For some of you, this could be friendship as well with the Three of Cups. I just feel like you are the type of person, and this is a Virgo trait, to just have a very small circle and to only let a select few people in. And so when someone in your circle does you wrong or hurts you, it can kind of cause you to really shut down and to be kind of like closed off to the possibility of new people getting to know you or letting new people in. So I feel like some of you are in that energy where you don't want to let anyone else in, or you're afraid to let anyone else in because of the things that you have been through in the past. Some of you could have gotten out of a very heavy time period where you were depressed and you feel like you are finally overcoming that. And be careful of that, because sometimes it can be very easy to feel like, okay, I'm coming out of that now, I'm not depressed anymore, but it's kind of like you're using, again, like I was saying in the last, with the last cards, like using the external world to fill that empty void, but not really getting to the root of the problem. So be careful of that. Make sure that you're getting down to the root of it and that you're not just suppressing it and trying to just move forward. Because with the Emperor card being here, this talks about being in control. It's like a lot of masculine energy that comes with this card. It's like having very strong boundaries to the point where no one can get in. And it makes you feel safe. It makes you feel secure. It makes you feel like, okay, that means I don't have to worry about being in this energy anymore. But it can also come with this feeling of being jaded or being a little cold, being a little closed off, and making connections with people, but they're not as deep as you would like them to be. They're not as fulfilling as you would like them to be, because you, like I said, you have all this armor on. So you keep the wrong people out, but you also, it's like you also sacrifice deep connections, because you can't have a deep connection when you're armored up like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a certain amount of vulnerability for you to have those deep, fulfilling connections. And I feel like a lot of you are craving that, and your soul is wanting that for you, wanting to experience that, and wanting to experience, what it's like to be so close to someone that you don't feel like you have to be guarded, or you don't feel like you have to constantly be like, okay, I'm ready for this person to leave, like kind of being on your toes at all time and expecting the worst from people. Some of you are wanting to experience a relationship where that isn't a problem, but it's like because of your past or the things that you've been through, you feel like you just can't experience that because you have to keep that guard up. Like it's not worth putting your guard down, because then someone can easily come in and undo all the hard work that you have done in terms of building yourself back up. So the Devil card is here with the 10 of Wands in reverse. And again, like I said, you feel like the wrong person could easily slip into your life. You could let them in, and then they can undo all of the work that you have done on yourself in order to build yourself back up, in order to pull yourself out of that darkness. So a lot of you are just a bit jaded, and it's for a good reason. Like I said, because it took you a long time to pull yourself out of that energy, and you don't want to go back to that. But just remember that you're also sacrificing that feeling that you get from totally and deeply connecting with other people. So it's really up to you to decide whether or not that sacrifice is worth it. So let me pull for December, and then we'll move on to the extended. Let's see Virgo for December. Knight of Swords, okay. Ace of Swords. So it looks like in the month of December, the Magician at the bottom, it looks like in the month of December, you are gaining some sort of clarity about a past situation where there is no longer any contact. I feel like if it was a situation where you were left kind of confused, or you were left without closure, or it's like the situation came to an end in a way that was kind of very harsh with the communication, I feel like you're getting some type of clarity about that situation. With the Magician card being in the reverse, it could possibly be that somebody deceived you in the past, and you are kind of getting clarity about exactly what happened. And I don't want you to be alarmed about that, because I don't feel like it's something that you're going to be so shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm finding this out about this person. I feel like it's more so just like epiphanies, like you're having like epiphanies, like you are realizing why you had to go through certain things with that person, or you're like really reflecting on that situation and realizing exactly what you were meant to learn from it, or exactly what you need to do now moving forward based off of whatever that situation was. And I feel like with the Knight of Swords, it was possibly someone who was very disrespectful with their words, possibly out of control with their words and saying things that are very hurtful, or you could have fell into this energy, you could have been the one saying hurtful things, or it could just be that there were no words exchanged, like it was something that was cut abruptly and that there was no closure. But either way, it's kind of like you are given the opportunity in December to really figure out why it is that you went through that situation and what you can do moving forward in order to avoid getting back into that situation. And again, be careful, because I feel like I'm reading with this energy that you're going to be thinking about it like, okay, this is exactly what happened to me, and now I know to never involve myself with someone again. Like, be very careful of that all or nothing type of thinking. Try to take the lessons from the situation without completely shutting yourself down and coming to the conclusion that, okay, I never want to go through this again, so therefore I'm just shutting everybody out. You know, it's like you have to find like a balance of, you know, healing and setting those healthy boundaries, while at the same time still being open to the idea that not everyone is going to treat you like this. Not every relationship is going to end up terrible like this. And there's a possibility for you to really grow and heal from the situation in a way that won't turn you ice cold, you know? So let me pull two more for December, and we will clarify those in the extended. Well, this was a smooth reading. Some of the other signs, their energy was so blocked, but your energy seemed very open, even though the Emperor is here, which talks about being kind of closed off. I feel like some of you are kind of opening up, like your mind is expanding, like you're getting new insight into your life and looking at things in a different from a different perspective. And I feel like that's why I'm able to connect to your energy so easily. So let's see. For some of you, what I'm also hearing, because I'm like looking at those cards, I feel like there's another message. For some of you, you're gaining clarity about someone who you're presently dealing with, and you are going to make the decision to cut them off, possibly. So, and again, don't take that and think, okay, I have to cut this person off because this tarot reader said that. I'm just saying some of you will come to that conclusion all on your own, and it would be a conclusion that you already were thinking about, but now you know it kind of has to be solidified. So maybe possibly like cleaning out any dead weight before, and I don't mean to refer to a person as a dead weight because they're humans, but it's like cleaning out any, cleaning away situations or people that are no longer serving you just in time for the new year. So the King of Swords is here, and the Nine of Pentacles, and the Temperance in reverse, or the Temperance in the upright. So we're going to clarify the King of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, and this usually talks about dealing with someone who is happy being single, but I'm getting, that's weird, I'm getting like this King of Swords person as someone who acts like they're happy to be single, but they're not. So maybe this could be you, or this could be someone that you're dealing with. Okay, I'll clarify that. That was weird. I don't usually read the King of Swords like that. I'll clarify that in the extended. I will leave the link to the extended down below, and I'll also be doing a second tarot spread in that same extended video. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys over on Vimeo. Bye.